Mature-minded gamers. We're checking out Might and Magic Chess Royale. It's a mix of a battle royale and a battle chess game. I've been playing it
All
for the
right.
last couple of
You
days and
ready?
really enjoying it. You're going to hear us also
Yep.
recording a podcast in the background. I'm multitasking tonight.
Now recording.
Audio set, 1, 2.
Test. This is what you have to do. Some sort of audio check levels. Is that what you guys always do?
It takes a second for it to get
takes
the
a
volume
second
up.
sometimes for audio levels to raise up for whatever reason.
Okay.
All right, so you don't actually lose
Hello and welcome
any
to the
health.
Mature-minded Gamers. My name is community member Ryan, and I'm with Eric and Will today. And we're just going to check in with something I've been playing here recently, which is a game I've got from Humble Bundle a few weeks ago, and it's been scratching an itch that I needed to scratch. Have you guys ever played Dawn of War? Any of the Dawn of War games?
I played the first and the second ones. I haven't played the third one yet. That's why I'm kind of intrigued to find out your thoughts on the third one.
I have never got into any. I've always wanted to, but I have never actually taken the leap, I guess. So I'm really interested in hearing more about the one you're playing because I own a lot of them from the Humble Bundle as well.
I actually didn't even realize I owned this game. It was one of the ones that you sort of got and sort of stuck in my pile because, like you, Will, I played the first one, and I think I had like 3 of the 4 updates. That was the first one came out at the time I was playing Warhammer 40K, and I had to get all the way to the 3rd update or the 3rd DLC or whatever it was before I could actually get a Imperial Guard army. If I remember right, I don't remember. I bought a lot. One of them was the Necrons, which was what my buddy was playing, so we wanted to get both of them so we could play through the first Dawn of War, which was a good real time strategy game, sort of a very basic version of sort of Warcraft. That's that sort of genre of game, that top down looking, create units, build your base, and so forth. Starcrafting sort of stuff. It was not nearly as good as the stuff that Blizzard was making. So just for the record, but it did scratch that itch. So here recently, I've been actually considering trying to get back into some miniature painting and so forth. And when I did that the first time, I never really paid attention to any of the lore of that universe. I thought it'd be more interesting getting into it this way. So I found this game in my library and I downloaded it and started playing it. Overall, it plays just like the originals. It's a top down, drop, point and click, build your base and move on. I'm playing at the neutral, sort of the not the easy setting, not the hard setting, and it's a little bit handholdy, and I'm like halfway through the game at this point. So, um, that side of it's kind of interesting because if I'm only looking at the storyline portion of it, then then the difficulty stuff doesn't really matter. But it's been fun, like getting to know the leaders and sort of this particular storyline as it comes at it from 3 different directions. You have like the Empire side of the storyline where you're playing as some
I love the Zelox.
Space Marines, of course, and then you have another storyline where you're playing as some Eldar. Again, these things are all the old names. I don't know what the new names from 8th edition are, but you play the Eldar, and then the third one is you're playing as the Orcs, and it's interesting because all 3 play drastically different. So this game is an older game, came out in 2017 or so, early, like Q2 2017 or so. And I checked on Steam, and it's still about 30, 36, 37 bucks for this particular version of the game. And it's sitting at mixed reviews. I'd kind of have to agree. Mixed reviews feels about right. It's not something you're going to like just enjoy, or not you're not going to unlike it. It's just not something you're going to write necessarily home about. But it's been a good time.
That's one thing I've noticed about the Warhammer games is they always hold their value. You never see one drop super low. Like I personally, usually wait for those games to do, and they never really get there.
I think a big part of that is GW's foothold on that, and that's something that Games Workshop is very big on, is making sure that their products are always seen as high quality, and it's almost like that Apple mentality that they have. They don't tend to put things directly from Apple on sale, and it's usually from a third party that those products were to go on sale. So that way, the value of the product is always seen as higher than what it should be.
Well, then anybody who got it in the Humble Bundle is pretty lucky to only get it for $12 or so. So, in addition to the other games I got that month, I think I thought we were going to talk about the mixed review. Like that was pretty typical of a Warhammer game because I think that's where if you look some of the reviews and just have you been fought if you look at any of the message boards or so forth, it's a pretty divisive community. There's a lot of people that are just laid back and chilled, and some of those guys in a normal setting aren't really vocal, but because they're passionate about the product, even though they're laid back and chill, they still will get in and chirp away about what their version of Warhammer is or how they think it should be played, 40K or Age of Sigmar or whatnot. And then the other side of that fence, which is typically your loudest people, the people that are upset or don't dislike the changes, they're also just as present. So um, it's been it's been neat learning more about the universe and more about the different aspects of the communities that play it. And it's also interesting that the model version, the tabletop wargaming version of Warhammer 40K seems to mirror the video game version of Warhammer 40K. The biggest thing was like, that there's the whole aspect that the video game is, I don't want to say dumbing down, but sort of, it's reducing the amount of work that's required to play the tabletop version of the game or reducing the cost of entry. Where a lot of people see that as a great gateway sort of situation, get people to play the game, get people to play the skirmisher version of the game, and then if they find those aspects that they enjoy it, or they find the video game and the lore and the story that they enjoy it, then they're going to continue to dip their toes more and more. Where other people just see it as sort of uh, uh, making it too, taking away from the hard earned effort that they put into it. So it's strangely enough very much like model airplane communities.
To me, it seems that the Warhammer games, like the Dawn of War series, are primarily wouldn't be picked up by just a casual non-Warhammer player. I mean, have you seen a lot of chatter as far as like people who are talking about the game that don't already know much about the Warhammer lore? Because I'll be honest, if I didn't know anything about Warhammer, I don't think this game would be one that I would actually want to pick up, just based on how the game plays, the aesthetics of the game. It doesn't really seem like a gamer's game, or it seems like more of a miniature gamer's game than anything. But like you were saying, it does seem like it streamlines the game down to a simplified version, to the tacticalness and all the die rolls and the list building and all the little nuances of how the armies interact with each other, and it gives you kind of also like just a campaign story, right?
Yeah, well, I think yes. But to go back to your other point, if you are a gamer who has, I mean, Warcraft 3 is going to be released what tomorrow? Today? Was it today it was released? If that's the kind of game that you're into, you played, then this, all the Dawn of War games seems like a natural progression for you to check out, even if you're not interested in the Warhammer lore or the tabletop version of the game. And if you get in there and you find out that it is becoming interesting, or you do, because there is so much fluff in Warhammer. There's so much information that you could dig into, and some of it's just really, really bizarre. Like the whole idea of the Emperor being a bazillion years old or whatever it is, and 1,000 people have to die every day to keep him alive or whatever. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to talk about it because I'm going to say something wrong and I don't want to offend anybody. But there's just so much stuff out there. So looking into just a snippet of whatever the campaign modes of these Dawn of War games are, just gives people a little bit of a taste. And if something they want more of, I think it gives them that opportunity to go that direction. While again, I will agree that it's not necessarily a gamer's game, just because of the depth of the world. If you get into it and it starts to become overwhelming, you're immediately going to pull out and then sort of walk away from it. But that's not the person that's going to spend thousands of dollars on an army anyway. So I think there's a weird, intricate sort of balance there. I think there's room in the gamer sphere for this sort of game, and it's been 4 years. I could imagine that there's probably one coming, or at least somebody's working on something. whether it's continuing to patch and update Dawn of War 3 or Dawn of War 4 somewhere around the corner. I guess it's probably just a Google away that I haven't done, so I apologize.
Do you feel this game is scratching your desire to go back to playing 40K?
Okay, so someone who knows a little bit about 40K will see aspects of the game in the video portion, like you move a squad of 5 Space Marines or 4 Space Marines into combat. They will shoot as a group, and then they will receive damage as a group. So you will see them sort of tick off. Now, of course, when I play a lot of these games, I like to pause because I like to control units, individually. And this isn't a game that makes it very easy to pause because you can't interact with the game while it is paused like you would like Warcraft 3, or StarCraft, but when you're playing single player, of course. So it's always playing like it's a multiplayer game, which is probably just how the engine is built. But that it becomes a little bit more challenging to actually bring in your tactics. But if you have a melee troop that has a certain power up or an upgrade or so forth, they will they will hold the attention of other melee troops while your ranged troops are attacking them. Or if they get into a group of ranged members, they will tear face just like you would expect from the actual game. So there's lots of pieces in that. I do like to see the big tanks and with the wraith guards and things with the Eldar have the great big machines and how they sort of interact with what's happening. And again, there's power ups that I remember from the game from actual Warhammer that are included in there. At the beginning of the game, you have to to pick your elites that you want to take in. You have to pick your what is that word? Sort of your actions or your tactical skills. There's a very Warhammer word for it that I've lost on it. So that even though you're playing the campaign mode, and even though you're kind of stuck when you're doing the actual storyline of playing which type of army that you need to play in order to complete that particular mission, there's a lots of flexibility, and it slowly works you into it. So like I think elites were added like maybe in the 3rd or 4th campaign mission, and then tactics were added a mission or two after that. And it gives you lots of like suggest like for this particular mission you might want to run this. And for somebody who is can easily get overwhelmed on that sort of stuff, it becomes it's really helpful. I myself, while I like battle chess games that we've talked about on previous
Holy crap.
podcast, Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, card games where you're expected to build your own deck, intimidate me to the nth degree, mainly just because I don't ever feel like I know enough about a particular game to know which card is really going to help me and which card is going to hurt me. Whereas in like a game like Slay the Spire, you're building your deck as you go because you're only getting 3 cards or so as you go, and you can drop cards and upgrade cards. I like that version of a deck building game. The version of Hearthstone where you basically start with a certain pack, and then each time you do better, you get 3 more cards to sort of continue to add up your deck. I can't remember what that's called. Is that the arena? I don't. Do either one of you guys play enough Hearthstone to know that?
It's been a long time. I think it is the arena though. I think you're right.
So that drafting the deck mechanic I kind of like. So the fact that Warhammer and Dawn of War and all 3 of them had, if I recall, had did a decent job of this, works you in as slowly as it does. It's really, really helpful and makes it accessible for almost anybody who wants to play it.
Does it have any kind of multiplayer capabilities, Ryan?
It does. I think up to 6 or 7 players can play a multiplayer game at the same time. I have not done that because, I mean, the game itself is 4 years old, and nobody else I know was playing the game. So, yes,
Mike and I played the second one together, and I was playing. I think it was the Eldars when the Eldar expansion came out. Well, they're not called Eldar now.
They Maker something? Maker World? Is that what it is, or something like that?
Man, I'm having a hard time thinking of what they're called. The Yanari?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know any of the new names. I don't know the Imperial Guard new names, and that's just like Astro Militaris or something.
Right. Yeah, Yunari is the new name for the Eldar and Dark Eldar. But anyway,
So you actually have a lot more history playing the tabletop version of Warhammer than what I do. Does the stuff that I say make sense, or as a video gamer, for a tabletop gamer versus the video game version of this, is this turning you away?
no, to be honest with you, it just seems like a streamlined version that's going to be easier to get to the table when you don't have the ability to necessarily get with another player. Like if you're in different states with your normal group, or if you're busy with lives like us, where we have kids and jobs and we can't always get together when we want to play. This is just a great way, as you're saying. Sounds like it just kind of scratches that itch for you to get those types of troops to the table and to do certain tactics that those characters would do.
All right.
The problem that I
Got
see
first
with
place.
the actual video game is the limitations that it sounds like it's giving you on what
yeah.
characters are and what units are released in the game itself versus the models that are currently available. The different rule books obviously is going to make the game different versus when you click on a Space Marine to move them forward in battle. Well, when you're playing a miniatures game, you're only going to move them so many inches or decide when to charge, and it's that back and forth versus you're just constantly at the same time doing actions and doing attacks and doing maneuvers. So it's a completely different type of beast, and it really sounds like to me this is just more of a real-time strategy game thrown in the Warhammer world. So, as you were saying before, it's a completely different animal, but it's that world that I think you're really getting the familiarity with. Am I right?
Yeah, that's why I enjoy it. I mean, I just even looking at the paint schemes of the different like factions within the factions, I've enjoyed looking more at. And I have not dived into the custom game version of this because I was just playing the campaign. I like to keep one like single player game in the back. So if I have an hour to kill at night before bed, I can jump on there without having to try to find people or look at things. So this just becomes the new single player version or single player game of my month. And when I'm done, I don't know how much more I'll play. I'll probably actually back up a little bit, play a little more Dawn of War 1 because that's the one I remember the most. And if I don't get any IG or Astro Militaris or whatever the heck they're called in Dawn of War 3, which is what I'm kind of waiting for them to show up, I'm gonna have to go back so I can get me a big tank, big guns, and see what happens. Well, that's Dawn of War 3, and if you have fond memories of this game or even this series, then by all means continue to share them with us and keep the conversation going as we end this discussion because I'd like to see more people's opinions about what's happening. Whether Dawn of War 4 truly has been dropped by Sega and Relic is gone forever, or if you guys think or have heard something else that maybe it's on its way, um, and then we'll all see together. But feel free to check us out at the maturemindedgamers.com and follow us on this YouTube channel. Is that a YouTube video? Probably not a YouTube video, is it? What is it?
Podcast.
You got to keep this in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not great at editing anyway, so I never edited a single episode of Buffalo Brotherhood. So okay, so if you like the podcast, go ahead and follow us on the podcast. Where can they find us, Eric? Are we on Apple Podcasts?
We are
Are we
on
Stitcher?
all 9 different sources: Anchor, the Apple Podcast, you name it. Just look for Mature Minded Gamers, and you will find our video game podcast and our Star Trek podcast. Make sure you check them both out. And our website is maturemindedgamers.com.
Can I just get the actual RSS feed from maturemindedgamers.com?
I do not have that out there anywhere.
Oh, hey, there's 10. All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Eric, for humoring me with listening to the video game. And then I'll see you guys next time.
No, you just tell Craig to leave.
Leave, Craig. Nobody wants you here.
I wish they would let it put in the audio like that. That'd be cool.
I can't. Okay, there it goes. Bye, Craig. Okay, I had a message once. Is this dashboard?
No,
ID play?
that that
How do I?
that message is from Craig, so you got to click on it, and that's where you download the podcast, the audio.
Okay.
You click on it, and then it'll do some stuff, and then you want to download the wave version, the single track wave.
I don't want the Audacity project.
That's multi-track. I mean, if you really want to get fancy with the editing,
Wait, so each one of us has our own track?
yes, if you do multi-track,
Man, that would have made life a lot easier.
it does, but it takes a lot longer.
Oh yeah, because then not only do you have to like if you take some cut out of audio out of my track, then it throws the whole sync off. So you got to take out all three of the tracks at the same time, and then mute one person, and then pain.
We were slightly doing that wrong. You can do it by just highlighting where they're talking over and just put in silence.
Right.
But it's still a pain in the ass. Either any way you look at it.
Right. Just so much easier to just do one audio. That's why I try not to talk over other people.
So when two people are talking at the same time, it doesn't read it. Okay, what? Type error colon cannot read property apply of undefined. What does that mean?
Is that when you click download?
Well, it went away. Hold on. Where's it at? Download this link. Click. Yep. Okay, so over here on this page, Kashmir Craig records. I click single track
Wave.
It takes me to a different page.
Yep.
This service is in beta. If you have any problems, please go back and choose a different format, blah, blah, blah. This tool will download the process and export to auto. Click auto to do all of that automatically. Edit if you like to perform other editing. Cancel. So I just want to do auto, right?
Auto, yep.
Okay. So I did last time, and it said it came up with my name and Will's name, but not your name.
Should still have them on there.
Okay. My name at 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and Will's name at 6 minutes 57 seconds.
I don't know what those times mean, because that's not how much you talked. I don't really understand what that.
I think it's when the person cut in, or when it's got to be something to do with that. Now it's loading, Eric. Oh my God, it's midnight.
Hey, silly question. You remember when we used to do the Battlefield tournaments or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
We were like in a league or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do anything like that? Anything for like for pub or for Battlefield 5 or anything?
Yeah. Yep. I looked it up at one point, and now the name is escaping me, but there is leagues, yeah. Did you see the new Battlefield 5 patch they're coming out with early February?
One?
Yeah, man, it looks awesome.
Dude, I really want to play the Breakpoint Terminator thing. I guess it ends on the February 4th.
No, it doesn't end, does it? It starts?
It starts the 30th and then ends the 4th is what I read.
Wow, that's ridiculous. What about not keeping your content out there?
It says download multiple files. Why does it want to download multiple files?
It gives you a text, and then it gives you the actual audio file.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't want no viruses on my computer.
Too late.
I mean, that's been the whole in game. This whole podcast this is the only reason we're doing it is to get you infected.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. Seems like a dick move.
So you believe it's true then?
Do you believe in magic?
That's what you want me to believe, right?
All right, so tonight we got a podcast, Star Trek podcast. We got a Guild Ball podcast. We got 2 video game podcasts done. Brad's gonna edit one. I'm gonna edit one. Ryan's gonna edit one. And Eric, you got one, right? Or did I do the other one? I did. Yeah, I got 2 to edit. I got 2 to edit.
I didn't download any.
2.
But I do still have a 2-hour D&D session and all that video to edit, so I got plenty to do. I'm not worried.
Oh no, I'm just saying, taking a little bit off your plate, motherfucker.
I know, I appreciate it. I like how you threw it in Ryan's lap. Ryan's just a nice guy. He's like, all right.
It'll get done when it gets done.
Well,
he's gonna be the new Brad. You can give him shit.
For the next 2 weeks, I'm the only administrator in my building, so it's going to be a little.
I can't get
a little chaotic.
Ryan does videos for me. I mean, you've done 3. No, you've done 3 in the last like 2 or 3 months. I can't complain about that. No,
I like doing videos.
You got a good voice. You're good at those. I'm telling you.
Your voice is sexy.
Yeah, you keep the conversation going, which I struggle with, and I mean you're good on the podcast too for that reason.
Right. You ask a lot of questions, which is good because that's when the silence gets broken up.
You don't stumble over your words like I do.
I did there at the end. You didn't hear me? I couldn't even say mature-minded gamers.
Well, just a little bit. I mean, we all do that. It's like every sentence for me.
It's fun. It scratches an itch. I miss the podcast a little bit. I don't miss the work.
So did you look at that Oath game yet, Eric?
Yeah, a little bit.
No?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, no, you weren't. You didn't think it's
No.
Want to play?
No, it looked cool.
Okay.
Did you buy Warhammer 3 or Warcraft 3?
No.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It was on the hype channel forever, so I didn't know if he actually bought it or not.
I'm surprised he didn't try to get a key.
I bet he did try.
Why is it showing? Terrible. Sorry, everybody. Wow.
What?
I was streaming the whole time and just had my internet browser window open. That was it. Just looking at my email as I was playing this game.
Oh no! Now they've seen your email.
I mean, I'm not really worried about what was there. It's just the fact that I wasn't streaming that whole time.